Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Ripster Daily Trade Recaps and Daily Teachings. What an eventful day today guys, just crazy day. So there's definitely a lot to discuss today. We'll do a market analysis, and then we'll look at the market overall, what's happening today, and what can happen tomorrow. And then we will go back to our trades today. We'll see how we managed our trades before the big crash later end of the day, and how did we manage the big crash, like what are the lessons to be learned from that big crash at end of the day, and how we traded it, or what are the mental aspects to discuss there. So I will talk about all that. We have many things to discuss, so listen carefully there. If you missed the move, if you made the money, whatever you did, or you lost in some of your swings or in your longs, so there's a lessons for everybody today. So I will share my thoughts. Before I start, just usual quick introduction. This video I recap the trades from the day, from my community, how the guidance and whatever all the stock plays we were having in the community, how's the community traded, and anything from my Twitter ideas or swing, anything. So basically I recap everything. Every day I wake up 45 minutes before the market open. I aggregate all the news, I create a watch list for my community, and then I create some pivot levels for my community. So you can see these pivot levels right here. So the reason I have these pivot levels today, because I really want you guys to take a screenshot of these pivot levels and then go back, see the end of the day sell-off. So most of these pivot levels broke in end of the day, if you see my support levels, and then you will see that how they faded much more since when those levels break. The biggest thing to note here is the VIX pivot levels, guys. So VIX 1260, 1273. So there's a reason I had those pivot levels. So once they broke out, that was our signal to be bearish on the market. VIX is high, and then I will discuss in detail, but I'm just showing this. The levels are so important. It was so important today for everybody to watch and keep eye. Combining these pivot levels with your strategy or my EMA Cloud system gives you a perfect trading system that takes guesswork out of your trades. So let's go back. Let's see our watch list quickly, and then we will start with all the trades. So there was not much from the watch list perspective. We had FDX, which was the main play today. Everything I had on my watch list, but there was not enough volume today. So news plays were basically, and Google was a news play actually. I moved Google up. If I show you the later watch list, I moved the Google and CRM up, and Google was on the top. So top plays were those Google and FDX, which was a loss today, C minus loss. I already knew that it can be a loss, so we will talk about that. So alright guys, so that was the introduction. Let's go review the market. Let's look at our SPXS trades today. So when the market opened, guys, on SPY QQQ, what were we doing when the market opened? So there were these clear levels. So if you see, there was these clear levels right here. You can see these levels. So this level was a pre-market level, which was clear. And similarly, we were gapping down on QQQ. We had a clear level on QQQ as well, right? If you want to put a SPX there, then even then you can see on the 10-minute chart. So when was it? It was 9/20 December. Yeah. So we have a clear defined level. You can see even here from SPX. So there was a clear level. So when I saw this going over EMA Clouds and this pushing over EMA Cloud, the risk was defined. That's when I said that we can long scalp SPY and QQQ. So let's go back, see my comments here, live comments. Okay, so QQQ scalp long, right? So then QQQ scalp long, and I was on the voice talking about SPY and SPX as well. So we were long this whole way, right? So I was talking about SPQQQ, my first target was the gap fill, and then you just ride it, and we were just long, and when this broke here, that's when I cut QQQ everything, and after that, it trapped us, and then it pushed higher, and then comes. So now already I discussed this, SPQQQ long, which was a simple long setup, nothing special about it. Gap down over EMA Cloud, defined risk, then over the pre-market highs, and QQQ was over all-time highs. So it was a simple long setup. We have already made a good profit before the market dumped. So now let's go into what happened later in the day. So guys, as soon as we went into the closer to the power hour, SPY started to break the 512. But what I noticed was the VIX, which VIX has been sideways on this level for a long time. So you can see VIX was, for a long time it has been in this range, this resistance, and that's why I put 1270 level, right? If you see my VIX level that I put there, that was the pivot, and that was the level that was basically lead to a VIX breakout, 1273, and you can clearly see that was the breakout. And when I noticed that was something different. When VIX rises and pushes, SPY can keep falling down. And even at that moment, of course, many traders in the community were already shorting on the 512 break, and we have our dashboard review and all that. But when I noticed this break under 3450, that's when I realized, that it can test pre-market lows, and that's when it was a short. And same for QQQ. So VIX is spiking, so you try to find the reasons, that's fine, but reasons are not necessary to trade at the short side. More than the short side, guys, it was managing your longs. That's what I said before I even go to what I said next. If you were long, this was time to get out of all your longs, Google's, Microsoft's, whatever was bullish. A lot of names which we will discuss later were already bearish, that you never would have been long in them. Intraday trading, you should have locked when the system said it's turning bearish. 512 EMA Clouds was your first warning, and then the bearish cloud break was your second warning under 3450 clouds. And it's not about the indicators, right? It's about the buyers and sellers. What does EMA does? Exponential moving average. It's the confluence of buyers and sellers. It just tells you that if the buyers are overtaking sellers or sellers are overtaking buyers, that's why my system is so consistent. So talking about that, so my point was that you had to lock the rules. First of all, lock your longs, and then you look at the shorts. And how did the short further confirmed? When it broke this pre-market low, right? And this again was from my levels that I gave. If you look at this SPY QQQ levels, so if you look at my support pivots that I give every morning, 473.6, 407.8 on SPY QQQ, so both of those pivots finally break, and then that's your another signal to cut longs and stay short. So now talking about when this thing happens, what does usually an average trader thinks to buy it? He thinks, oh, market is selling off, it's too low, it cannot go lower, let me long it, and you try to buy the dips, and you get destroyed. That is not the way to do it. That's not how the professional trader or a successful trader does, because you have no system. Basically, you are just thinking, you are just assuming, and your mind is telling you it's too low, maybe it can bounce. Yeah, it's easy money, it's free money. There's no easy money, there's no free money. It's about your system, it's about building bad habits, you know. So if I show you what my commentary was when this happened, let's go back and see what was my comments there. So I clearly said, and you can see the price alerts going in when these were breaking. So I have a price alerts in community when the key pivots are breaking, you know. So I said, you know, do not buy, do not chase the bottom, don't try to chase the bottom. You see here the price alerts coming in, QQQ breaking the clouds, my price alert going in, SPS breaking a pivot, then QQQ breaking another pivot, and I said don't chase the bottom. And yes, of course we were trading, you know, I was trading puts, because once you are in the puts at this position, either you risk, which you can lose all. Let's say you made some profits in the morning, $2,000, then you risk out of that profit, because you don't know when the thing is going to bounce on your face. But based upon the system and the probability, when QQQ and SPY broke this level, you know, 1 hour level from pre-market or yesterday, the probability was that it's going to drop to the next level. So that gives you the confidence to add with confidence, because of course it can bounce, and even you see there's a bounce here and rejection and fade, and the next level was yesterday's lows. So then it's all about your next targets. That gives you conviction, your system gives you conviction. That's how I had this SPX option that, you know, I bought 4,500 worth of those puts, and I sold for a $5,000 gain, because I was ready to lose that money, because, you know, of course I had my conviction, you know, I had my system telling me that yes, we can go lower, and I was ready to lose that because I had a good morning, so I was ready to lose that money. But I was just not losing it randomly. I knew I had a probability that this can happen. So two things we are learning here is it's not time to buy, and if you want to short, you understand your risk levels, what confirms your short. And we don't know how low it can go. All we know is if this level is breaking, the next level is yesterday's lows. That's all we can do. You know, if pre-market lows are breaking, next level on QQQ is yesterday's lows. And you keep eye on the ATR, the price action. The candles continuously make lower lows, lower highs, and you know it's going lower. And then you use that profit, right? I made a 5 grand, I put $1,000 worth it in another lotos. They went to zero, who cares, right? But as long as the spike keeps fading, my profit on the options on SPX, they keep making me more money. Now, few things, guys, before I go to the market analysis, few things I want to tell you is talk about is, do not, if you made a crazy money today because you just, you know, because Rip was saying it's heavy or whoever, and you just market ordered 20-30 contracts and you made 30, I don't know how many grand you made. If you made that by fluke, don't be happy. You will give it back. I can tell you that today or tomorrow. So don't be happy. Don't be happy on a badly executed trade. Be happy on a good executed trade, where you lost, like we lost on FedEx. But I'm happy because I executed FedEx very nicely, which I will show you, even though it was a loss. But I'm not happy if I made a fluke money chasing on SPX puts like crazy. So that's nothing to be happy about. The second thing, guys, the second thing is, if you miss the move today, and if you are having FOMO, oh, I could have been here, I had a meeting, if I was here, I could have been 30,000 day, 40,000 day, all those kind of things, excuse me, which you are trying to explain to yourself that, yeah, you know, I missed, that's a bad mentality too. You will get that chance, but will you execute? Then you will have some other excuse. There's always an excuse, and you do not repent. You know, you do not regret that you were not here, you missed the move. What is done is done. Focus, be calm, be ready for next day. Market is always here, opportunity is always here. But if you build a habit of having a FOMO, that I missed out, then you will always miss out, and you will have this loser's mentality that you are missing out on the big trade. So do not have that mentality, guys. I'm giving you these very good lessons. You will thank me later. Change your mindset. Change your mindset. Watch my trading mindset webinar. Fix your mindset. Market is not going anywhere. So anyways, guys, so that was the overall discussion on how we manage the SPY and QQQ. Now let's quickly look at the overall daily chart and the market analysis. So I want to look at, first of all, I want to look at SPY, right? So if you look at SPY weekly chart, see, I don't believe in RSI and all that kind of crap, but I do believe that when a stock pushes higher from an EMA, it gets extended, and there's resistance is always paramount. So the daily candle is not that bullish. Sorry, the weekly candle is not that bullish. Daily candle is not that bullish either. So now what we need to see is that if tomorrow we are under today's low, we can pull back more on SPY. So we can pull back more. I mean, so 460 or 465. So we have level. So that will be a healthy pullback. If we pull back to this level, that will be a healthy pullback. And on your swings, there's not much to worry yet. But if VIX keeps climbing tomorrow, then there's going to be more sell-off. And even this sell-off, if we move to 461s, 465s, that will be healthy. Right now, I don't know. We might bounce tomorrow, but likely the chart pattern is showing us that if we break today's lows, we can go a little more lower. So be ready for that. If your positions are green, make sure you lock them. And if they are red, you should definitely lock them, because if you are added or chased, most of our swings, my swings, we did not chase. Most of they are way low average. So, I'm not worried about them. I never recently, only there was a couple of micro cap swings which are still okay, but I never added something on everything at the top when my risk reward is high. So watch your, those swings. Make sure you are at least closing half of your positions. Move your stocks break even. Don't think, oh, it will bounce, I will miss. Just follow the system. Follow a fixed system. Find your system. If your system tells that you should reduce the position or close the position, you should close and do that. So don't do random thinkings. Analyze your risk reward first. Market can do whatever it wants to do. It can go squeeze tomorrow, it can go back, but you have to decide what you have to do. So do accordingly. So anyways, guys, that's the look on SPY. So there are some levels here. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. As I told you, today only VIX participated. If I look at my, if I look at today's performance, you see that where is our VIX? All the sectors are down. Let's see, only the VIX is one which participated. Yields were down, dollar was slightly up. So it's all about VIX tomorrow, right? The move is related to a lot of these options, 0DT and all that. We don't really care. We want to see is what can happen tomorrow, so that we are ready. We are ready for tomorrow. So watch VIX tomorrow. If VIX breaks today's highs, and then we will also watch 10 a.m. tomorrow. We don't want to pop and drop. So that can come tomorrow at 10 a.m. as well. All the sectors are red. So, we'll be ready. So whatever happens, we're ready. So let's look at QQQ today. So QQQ is a little more concerning, because now it's kind of becoming a double top on the all-time highs. So that's what is concerning for me, that tech can pull back more. Again, if QQQ is under 403 tomorrow, it's bearish. It can pull back to the lower levels. The 400 is a big level, big psychological level. If 400 breaks, then we can probably pull back more as well. And I don't mind, actually, healthy pullback, so that any of our new swings we're going to add, we can position ourselves. You see, this was my flag breakout idea, and we had a decent move since that time on the flag breakout idea. So anyways guys, be ready, watch your trend, watch the price action. Whatever happens, if you're a day trader, don't shy away from trading either side. We are going into center rally, who knows, maybe more profit taking. Usually day like today just doesn't bounce back one way, but if it does, we will be ready. All right guys, took a little longer on all this analysis today, and I'm just going to quickly go through the trades. I'm not going to take too much time. All right guys, the first one I want to discuss is Google Long. So Google was our long today. It just had a news. It was breaking out of the pre-market highs, and you can clearly see the push on the Google. And I said starter in the morning, then I said can add more. We added. We really did good on Google. 140 calls went 100%. Not gonna spend too much time. My guidance is right here. Screenshot. You can pause, and then you can see the timestamps, and you review how the Google did and how the options did on those trades. So before the market puked, and guys, when the market pukes, you could short anything. We were shorting SPX, you could short Microsoft, AMD, NVDA, whatever you like. Even IWM short was, when VIX spiked, IWM short was actually really good. Those puts really went crazy. Tomorrow we watch. So anyways, before this crash, we were long. We were long. Once this turned bullish, IWM right here. We were not long at the open. We were long right here. We were. So you can see we turned bullish at my alert or idea was at 10 a.m. that we turning bullish, and since turning bullish from 200 it went to 2 points. That was a big huge win. And then of course 512 breaks. Then once you take the profit, and when 3450 breaks, then you get out or you short based upon that, and look at that beauty. And even then psychological 200 level breakdown or low of the day breakdown, you hold your shorts. Beautiful short. And so yeah, IWM was good. Let's go to the next one. All right, let's look at FDX quickly. So FDX was a loser, but it was a C minus setup. I was only a small size. So what FDX, when it started to bounce, I saw some buyers coming in. That's when I said let's long some. We were risking this 246, risking $3-4, and then see what happens. It pushed over 252. I mean, if you had a timely entry, you could, like I was watching it when it moved over 250. My plan was that this 247 and 250 levels. I wanted to see a B minus bounce, get over the clouds so we can add more. But it never went over the EMA clouds. What do I teach? It's a C minus. It's a against the trend trade. It's a negative trade. There's no long there confirmed yet. And when it started to do this, that's when I gave a warning. Not over the EMA. Resistance is 254. Still B minus. Facing some resistance. No bullishness. And when it finally break this 512 and 250, I said no bullishness. Just cut, revisit, no trade there. And some traders were shorting it. I said yes, you can short, and you watch it from 250, it faded to 248. It tried to bounce again and then failed again on EMA clouds. And when the market puked, of course it gives a beautiful fade right back to low of day. So it was so I personally did not short it. I did good on SPX short. I lost a little bit on here, but that was a calculated risk, calculated loss. You have to take that risk, because if it turned bullish, there was so much room for FDX to run. But anyways guys, that was a loser. So guys, Tesla was a long for us at the open. It was a quick long. It turned bullish. When it turned the bullish, that's when I gave my 260 target on Tesla. We added on Tesla right here when it turned bullish, 257s, and it gave us not much. For me it was like a $2.50 kind of trade, and then it finally broke down, and that's when we got out. But you can see pause and see my timestamped guidance. So many folks were green on that. Let me see. So you see the folks were green, like, you know, on Tesla and Google, both the trades were green for people in community. It's all about your timing, your entry, and if it's not the full green, you get out. You know, Tesla has been doing the same thing every day. Pop, drop, pop, drop, pop, drop. And of course, with the market tank, a big drop. So guys, AMD again. AMD was the, what did the level I gave in the pre-market? I gave the level on AMD. My pivot was 138.89 was support pivot, and AMD was bearish right at open. That's what I said. And there was, it was under the clouds. There was no long. You know, it's broke the pivot, gives you nice short initially, right? And even then it couldn't turn bullish, and then market dropped. There was a good short as well. So point I'm trying to make it, nobody longed AMD today. That's what I said right at open. And if you shorted, you made money. So that's why you need to identify what's the trend. What is the trend for the day? Just quickly look at Netflix and NVDA. Netflix was my voice guidance. I was telling that we will probably see 500 on Netflix today. So that was in the community. Everybody was long on Netflix. It was a voice, my voice guidance, and it pushed to 500. And you see, the reason I'm talking about this is the risk reward, the short versus 500 was phenomenal. Was just phenomenal risk reward. 500 is such a psychological level. You know, if I was shorting Netflix, I would have shorted anywhere. Even there, I would have risked $3 because it's very hard to get over 500, especially in a bear market. You know, phenomenal risk reward. Similarly for NVIDIA, when I said it's breaking 512, I said it's breaking 512. It was, this was a downtrend line. It was breaking this, and it was trying to flag on either side. We had a lot of discussions in the community on NVIDIA, and but the point here is the 500 risk level. You know, $2 risk, even $3 risk, you could have made $15. 1 risk to 5 reward trade. So these things help, right? Because the psychological level, so important. Look at the range on NVIDIA today, how much it would have done. I mean, anything would have worked, you know, but anyways guys, that's just want to talk about all these trades. The key here is, guys, never FOMO. Do not cry that you missed today. There's always tomorrow. There's always going to be big moves, and you can't have excuses every time. Just be ready for next time. And if you got destroyed buying dips, guys, focus on a system. Do, you know, if you need more help, come join our community. I do not promise to make you money, but I promise to teach you some good stuff so that you don't lose money, you preserve capital, and you do repeatable setups. All right, guys, I hope many people watched today's video. There's so much to learn here, and rest of you, I'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget to comment and answer to win the $100 giveaway. All right, guys, bye-bye.